Happy Monday afternoon to you. Welcome to the Oil Stream live from the Popeyes, Louisiana kitchen studio here on the West End. Matt Awanek, Tom Gazzola with you here for a short period of time because Matt Awanek will be leaving soon.
You're a busy boy, Matthew.
Dusty, how do I do this? Right, that's
mine.
That's your computer.
Yeah, that's
It's
mine.
also
My
going
bad.
on his computer.
There you go.
But I don't know if that's going on the air or whatever it is. Okay, we're good. We're good. Dusty's just finishing up an interview, actually. And then he'll take over. So I figured let's get the Oil Stream going because, well, here it is. I got it all started for you, Dusty.
Where are you going? What do you got to do?
That was an amazing appearance by me.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
What'd I miss?
You didn't miss anything. Just the intro
Did
to the
Jeff Jackson
show.
pull the trigger on another deal?
No deal. No deal. The Wolf got a birdie and is crushing some birdie juice on hole 2 at the ranch today.
He's playing. The Wolf's playing today. He turned me up. Could Matty actually hear in these headphones? Are you serious? Could Awanek hear?
Well,
Yeah, he looked like he
I
was
could,
like, it
I
was too
could
loud.
barely hear anything.
you can hear your headphones from across the entire office.
Yeah. I like it loud. And
I've noticed.
yeah. All right. Well, we're off and running.
Yes,
so
we are.
I didn't miss anything then, eh?
No. Just hanging out, having a good time.
Pull out the birdie juice. Just got a birdie on hole 2.
Oh.
Hole 2. Oh, I'm thinking. I'm thinking 11.
It's a par 5, I think, hole 2 at ranch.
Yeah, it's coming down the right along the fence.
Trouble on the left.
That's a terrible hole for lefties.
It is.
It's really.
If you've got a power fade, you're aiming way right.
What I usually do, and I'm very excited for the golf tournament tomorrow, but what I usually do is I aim over that tree on the right
Yes.
and then let it fly out there and then come back around.
Now it's deceptive at 2 because there is a safe space in there if you hit it far enough because there's a cluster of bushes
Over the
and-
top, there's
and
some space.
You
Yeah.
can end up close to 1 and even onto 1. But it looks worse than it is. Like from the tee box, you look at it, you go, ugh, that's
actually
kinda
by
narrow.
far the smartest play to aim a little bit to the right, no matter what.
Yeah,
on that hole,
exactly. And because if you're in the left side, you're OB, and you're taking a drop. So, but it is makeable to get there in 2. You put together a nice second shot.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of roll.
I've had eagle putts on that hole before.
Same, and I've missed those eagle putts.
Yeah, I've
they're
never
usually
actually
from
had
distance,
an eagle,
and I'm
but I've had a
terrible at
couple of
putting.
eagle putts.
I've had
Not tight
2
ones, but
eagles now.
not on that hole.
No, not on
Like
that
all
hole.
time?
Just all time.
I've had one. Where were your 2? Do you remember? I remember
one
where
was
mine
at
was.
Fort and View. Actually, I think both were at Fort and View, or I had one somewhere else. Anyway, it's a good feeling to get an eagle.
It is.
Yeah.
Mine was at Ravencrest.
Nice.
And they, I haven't been at Ravencrest in quite a while. Was it Ravencrest? Yeah. I can't remember if it was I remember the hole. I can't remember if it was at Ravencrest or what's the one out by
Legends?
no north of St. Albert. What's the town out
Sturgeon?
there? No, there's a little town.
Moorhead? Morinville?
Morinville. What's the golf course by Morinville? I used to go out there all the time.
It's supposed to be pretty nice. What the heck's the name?
I used to play it quite a bit.
Text us.
I can't remember. We used to do like
780-218-99.
in the bag there and stuff. Cardiff?
I wanted to say
Cardiff.
Yeah, that
I
might
guess
be
maybe it was Cardiff. Anyway, I think it was on the 10th hole at Cardiff. Is that like a par 5 that goes over a hill and it's a blind shot? Anyway, hammered one over the hill. Or maybe it was Ravencrest. Anyway, hammered it over the hill and it ended up on the fringe of the green. And then I putted from the fringe and rolled it in for eagle.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Cardiff is just southeast of Morinville.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Cardiff or Ravencrest.
North of St. Albert.
But it was a hole that you had to like ring a bell, and it was a par 5 that went way over a hill.
Well, that they have at Ravencrest, where you have to hit the...
Well, maybe it was Ravencrest then, like I
Yeah,
originally
hit the
thought.
bell.
I don't know why I got it confused with Cardiff. Anyway, both fun courses. Have you played? Did you get out while I was gone?
I got out on Saturday with
You
my
did,
uncle.
hey?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Meadowview, and it was
Okay.
in pretty good shape. It was busy, but it was moving really well for a Saturday. Great weather, and
So you're dialed in right now.
no, well, I mean, literally, that was my first round and swings of the year.
Okay.
I started out 48 on the front. Ew. 40
That's
on
not
the
bad
back.
for first round of the year.
40 on the back, though.
Whoa.
Cleaned it up really nice.
88.
Yeah.
You'll take that for your first round of the year.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just a couple of things. Like my My approaches weren't good. I was sculling shots. My stance was not right. I had the ball set up in the wrong spot, but we quickly corrected, and there's still some work to do.
How are you going to deal with the heat tomorrow?
Just fine.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hey, Belsy, look who it is.
Belsy, Paisan, get over here. We got to get Dave on for a little bit.
Yeah, well, we got Bill Hoppy coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Ciao, bello.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, good.
How was the flight?
I slept like a baby.
Oh, perfect. There you go. That's nice. That's good.
Dave Pagnotta's here. We'll have to.
Yeah, maybe after. Well, we got Bill Hoppy coming
Yes.
up, so maybe we'll go Bill at
cool to
12:20
hop on
and then
later?
hop on later.
Okay, yeah.
Zach, we'll set up a third mic here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Hello Hockey stuff, about the defenseman, the search for the defenseman.
Dave's
stuff.
dialed in.
So yeah, that's a nice one. Awanik has got so much getting organized out there for the golf tournament.
It's awesome. Him
Holy
and Eric
smokes.
are busting a move. They're off to see Bruce at William Huff right away here.
Oh, they're going back over to see Bruce again?
Yeah, and then they had a bunch of the gift bags and stuff ready to go. So it's a busy place. It's a very busy place here.
It's gonna be
Hampton Steve texting in says, Tommy, can you add anything to Pagnotta's segment on Hello Hockey where he mentioned the Oilers aren't done and focusing on improving the defense? Lucky for you, Hampton Steve, Dave's here.
Yeah,
And
he'll
he can
pop
add.
on. He'll
He can
pop on
add.
a little bit later on. I see Jasmine over in the text line too saying it's an 8 a.m. start tomorrow time.
Yes.
Maddie didn't email me. Yeah, 8 o'clock shotgun tomorrow, so make sure you're there a little bit earlier on. 780-218-9999. The Oil Stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Man, why not hit a BP's patio right now? Are you kidding me?
How about a beer right now on the patio with some Thai chicken bites and in the stein, and it's the mug is sweating.
The mug is sweating.
You know it's good when.
God, you love a good mug sweat, don't you?
I love a mug sweat.
I think that would be outstanding. That's a great idea. Boston Pizza Patio. Hit those bad boys up right now.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea. All right, we got to talk about this McLeod deal.
Yes, we do.
Friday afternoon, it goes down right after you guys would have done Oil Stream Friday afternoon. It was like
Yes.
2 o'clock or something. What was your first thought when you saw this deal go down?
First thought was, sucks to see Ryan go. I really like him.
That's why we had it as that hurts on the show today. For McLeod to be a part of what they're building here and then get shipped out to Buffalo, that sucks.
And the other thing, too, and listen, I know people are down on him because his playoff performance wasn't up to speed, and that's totally understandable, and it wasn't a good postseason for McLeod. You got a little bit better in the final, more effective, and I understand that. But this is a guy they drafted, they developed, they put time and effort into, and they invested in, and he became a regular NHLer, part of the PK. It's hard to groom centermen. I think that was the ultimate goal for the Oilers, is to have them as that third line center. But the circumstances changed. Adam Henrique coming back changes things. Now there's depth at center, veteran depth at center. Is there spots on McLeod's game? Of course. But he's a good kid. He's very easygoing. I think he was happy here. And then on top of that, I think he's going to have a decent NHL career. I think he's going to play another 10 years at least. And I think he's going to be a good player. So, opportunity elsewhere. And then the return, when I saw the return, Dusty, I was like, whoa. Okay. Because another thing you and I talked about was how the farm wasn't that well stocked.
Yeah.
Now, for this year at least, I think Savoie is going to end up in Bakersfield.
Well, I got some line combinations I'm going to run by you today.
Great.
Don't you peek at these unless you were watching the show at 7. You'll know.
I was watching, but I was also running around at my place. But I like this trade for the Oilers, and I think the Sabres are talking to their fans. And Joe DiBiase from WGR 550 in Buffalo, he gets it from a Sabres point of view.
Okay, well, that's why I wanted to get Bill on. So Bill Hoppy, Times Herald, has covered the Sabres for a long time. The boys out there were joking, Trev and Eric today. They're like, well, you're having Buffalo Bill on? And I was like, man, I've never even viewed Bill Hoppy as Buffalo Bill. But that's a great way to start today when we have him on. So he's going to pop by. I want to dive into the thought process of the Buffalo Sabres and I guess trying to fast forward things a little bit. And obviously their star, the shine on the star of Matt Savoie within the Sabres organization has kind of been dulling a little bit. Not as bright as it once was, because it doesn't make sense to give up one of your top 1 or 2 prospects when you're dealing with a team who's in a cap crunch. They kind of did the Oilers a bit of a favor here.
Yeah,
outside of the return. Like taking a contract off their books.
Yep.
Kind of did them a little bit of a favor.
It might be, yes, but I don't know if Buffalo's looking at it as a favor to the Oilers as opposed to trying to meet a need for themselves. Again, I'll reiterate that. I feel like Bill will be able to tell us a little bit more. I have some questions for him in regard to why Savoie may have been expendable from a Sabres standpoint. So there's a reason behind everything. And the Sabres do have, if you look at their depth and their prospect pool, that's a strength to the organization.
Well, when you've struggled for as many years as they have, you should have a good prospect. And you should have
Edmonton
absolute studs on the blue line,
Yeah.
which they have as well, right? So Rusty Shackelford is in, and if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us 780-218-9999. You can also hit us up over on the Nasty Chat as well. Jimbo says, Mug Sweat is making the hypothetical band name list. Thanks, guys. Right? That'd be man, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to the Mug Sweat show. That would work. Can you imagine merch with Mug Sweat on it? That's real nice. Boston Pizza should actually do that. Boston Pizza should sell merch that says Mug Sweat.
You know it's good.
That would work out really well. Yeah. Rob over on the text line says, you guys are killing me. I want to head to a BP's patio right now. You're acting like we're on the patio. We're not on a BP's patio. I wish we were on a BP's patio. You know what? When we do our next live on location at BP's, totally should do it on the patio.
We should.
We should definitely do it on the patio. That's a great thought.
We're in a studio that needs AC right now.
Yeah, I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty today. It's funny because the hallway area is pretty cool.
It's very comfortable
but
out
it's
there.
chilly. It's not chilly in here. We should open up the main door and let some of that air flow in here.
It's like we're in an industrial office building built in the late 60s, early 70s that was not planned out properly for
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Anyway, Rusty Shackelford's text says, by restocking the prospect cupboard while going all in at the same time, that is something I would have never imagined saying together with the Oilers, which is essentially what has happened in the last week.
Correct. It's like getting two birds stoned at once.
How's that even possible? KB's asking, what's in your mug, Tommy?
2 hoots.
He's having 2 hoots. I didn't get a 2 hoots. Unbelievable.
Would you like some?
Hey, Trev, can you bring me a 2 hoots? Thanks, buddy.
I'd fill mine up.
You're the best, Trev. All right, is Bill ready?
He's ready.
Okay, we might as well bring in Bill. He's been covering the Buffalo Sabres for a long time, and I got to ask him on the whole, how often does he get the Buffalo Bill thing? I come walking out, and I'm just like, hey, we're having Bill on, and Trev's like it's in Buffalo Bill? I was like, no, not as in Buffalo Bill. It's Bill who's covered the Sabres for a long time. Calm down. Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, guys, and I know I don't get Buffalo Bill very often, so
good.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Trev. Nobody refers to him as Buffalo Bill. That's your miss. Bill, let's start. Like when the trade went down on Friday, I know I was pretty surprised by the deal. I didn't know that Savoie was available at the time. I don't know how many people did. What about for you, who've been around this organization for a long time, who know the depth of their prospects, a guy who knows what the team needs and what they're trying to address? How much did this catch you off guard?
Well, if we kind of take it piece by piece, we expected a significant trade this offseason.
Okay.
We expected one of the prospects, that's talked about would go. But I don't know if we expected it to be Savoie, and I don't know if we expected the return because if you trade Matt Savoie, the thought was, well, they're getting a top 6 forward, and I think Ryan McLeod's pretty good, but I don't know if he's really a top 6 forward. He slots another third line. And Tyler, I'm going to say his name wrong, Tyler Toffoli. I mean, I guess he's an okay prospect, but I mean, if that was the deal, you expect maybe a bigger prospect or a higher draft pick coming back. So we were surprised, but it just speaks to just the enormous amounts of pressure the Sabres are under just to get to the playoffs, just to end this streak. It's a black cloud over the franchise, and they make it, it's lifted, and it's like they'd be this different franchise when that happens, and they're just under that much pressure, and they swung the deal, and I think a lot of people are surprised because I don't know if anyone was untouchable, but Matt Savoie is a guy you figured if they dealt him, something really significant was coming back. But I mean, those top 6 forwards, so to speak, I mean, they're just they're not really available. I mean, they're so precious. Teams don't want to trade them, so they settled, I guess, for the next best thing, a third line center.
Bill, I'll throw this at you. I'm curious to know what you think. How much of the rise and play of Yuri Kulich and then Zach Benson might have made Savoie available in this instance, or do you think that shouldn't have been a factor?
It probably did, because I mean they have a lot of forward prospects. I mean, Zach Benson was a guy that wasn't supposed to be in the NHL last year. I think he shocked the Sabres and ended up playing 71 games. And then you have Yuri Kulich, who's really a very good AHL player, has done things in the AHL at his age that guys haven't done in 20 some years, scoring 20 goals and so forth. And then you have Noah Ostlund, who was the Sabres pick in 22 after Matt Savoie. You have Hellenius, who was just Hellenius, who was drafted less than 2 weeks ago, who's a center who could join Rochester this year. So there's kind of I don't know if logjam's the right word, but they have a lot of young, high-scoring type guys that are going to be in Rochester, graduating to Buffalo soon. So one of them was expendable. I just wasn't expecting it to be Matt Savoie.
So is there I was asking earlier, getting you on here, has the shine fallen off of Savoie? Because we had some fans this morning on our morning show in the chat saying no, it doesn't surprise us. Savoie's too small. He's too injury prone. He's not good. I don't know. They seem pretty down. Maybe it's just because it traded, but have you got the same sense from Sabres fans that they'd kind of been down on Savoie a little bit? Maybe because he's not playing pro already at this stage?
I don't think so. I think he's been a bit banged up at times. I think that's been the big thing with him. Even this past year, we thought maybe he'd compete for a roster spot, and then he got injured in the rookie tournament, missed all of camp. They petitioned the Canadian Hockey League to let him play in the AHL underage, which was denied. But that was kind of interesting, just because he was entering his 5th year in the Western League. I mean, he was a dominant player. It just seemed time for him to move on to the pro hockey, but it wasn't allowed. So he went back to junior hockey and was just a dominant player and played for the Memorial Cup. So other than the injuries, he's kind of hit all the check posts.
Yeah.
To me, there's not a reason for anyone to be down on him. He played, the Sabres got him an NHL game last year. I don't know. I don't think he hit the 10-minute mark. He really didn't do anything.
So 355.
Yeah, he didn't play much at all.
Yeah. So I mean, one game, you shouldn't judge him on that. So I think it's just maybe the injuries if they're down on him. I mean, for me, having covered him, been around him for a couple of years. I mean, there's no reason to be down on him. I don't see any reason.
Okay, now you mentioned people would have been thinking if they move Savoie, they'd be getting back a legitimate top 6 forward. Instead, they get a guy who can play on your third line. Maybe he becomes a top 6 forward with more opportunity. Sure. Maybe gets sprinkled in on a power play here or there. As of the moment, where do you see Ryan McLeod starting the season for the Edmonton Oilers or for the Buffalo Sabres?
He's to me, he's their third line center.
Third line center? Okay.
T.H. Thompson's number 1. Dylan Cousins is number 2. They're entrenched there. He would be 3, and then 4th would be Sam Lafferty or Peyton Krebs. If they want to, I mean, one of those guys will. If they keep Peyton Krebs, they'll probably have to shift one of those guys to the wing. But I think he's really their number 3. I don't think it's a question of could he move up? I mean, with injury, yes, but could he move up or down? I think he kind of slots in there just because of his experience, the way he plays, and I mean, you expect a bigger return, yes, but I mean, he fills a lot of needs for the Sabres just because they were lacking a solid number 3. I mean, he can score a little bit, and I think there's growth there, and he wins a ton. I mean, the Sabres were the league's worst team in faceoffs. I mean, and to me, faceoffs are a huge part of the game that sometimes get overlooked, and he wins faceoffs. So
how were they on the penalty kill, Bill? Because he kills penalties too. How were they on the penalty kill last year?
They were pretty good on the penalty kill. Forgive me, I forget the number.
Yeah.
But I mean, he slots in well there. I think he does a lot of things that they like, and he's not a young star in my opinion, but They needed something, and they certainly went after it. So I think sometimes when you criticize a team for not doing enough, when they make a move, sometimes you just have to wait and see. And right now it looks like they paid a lot for Ryan McLeod, but I mean, who knows what happens over time?
You got to build a team. Can't just stack up top six forwards. And I understand that. We've had that discussion so many times in the past here, Bill. Now, and you're dealing with a fan base in Buffalo. I've covered many games there when I was traveling with the Oilers. That is a great hockey market. It wants a winner. It's been deprived of that for a long time. How has the reaction been to the offseason that Kevin Adams has put together here for this group? Is there faith in the team and the organization from a fan standpoint? Like, how would you read that right now heading into 24-25?
It's funny when I ask that, because I've been, just looking at opinions, and obviously I get opinions in the form of comments and whatever, and it's just, to me, it's mixed, because you have a faction of fans who wanted something big, who think Kevin Adams isn't doing enough, and then you have another bunch of fans who think that he's made the right moves, that this was a team that needed to become tougher to play against, that needed their bottom six addressed, and he's done that in adding Sam Lafferty, Beck Malenstein, Nicholas Aube-Kubel. On the blue line. He had Dennis Gilbert, a local kid, and it just kind of augments a very talented lineup. They have a different coach in Lindy Ruff, who will probably want them to play a little bit differently, a little that tougher brand of hockey, maybe you could just call it, will make them more accountable, they believe. So I think there's fans who think that they've done enough, just augmenting a talented lineup. They have a different coach, and we'll see where it goes, because last year Kevin Adams basically stood pat, and they thought they had their team, and when push came to shove, they just weren't good enough.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be good enough again this year. Bill, we appreciate the time today, man. Thanks a lot for popping on and giving us some insight on the mindset of the Sabres to pull the trigger on this deal.
Thank you, guys. My pleasure.
There you go. That's Bill Hoppy, Times Herald. Has been covering the Sabres for a long time. And, I thought it was interesting when he said there's some pressure in Buffalo right now
As there
to
should
try
be.
to get to the next step. Yeah, when you haven't been to the playoffs in almost a decade and a half.
Yeah.
And we get it. I mean, seeing what happened in this market for quite some time.
They know hockey in Buffalo, man. That is a good hockey market. Imagine being starved.
I still look at that lineup and go, they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nothing against the guys they brought in the bottom six, and they got some studs on the back end. Like you've got Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, and Bowen Byram on the back end, but you're running James Reimer and
hang on.
and
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I think is going to be something.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that.
Let's see here. Wait a second.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I love saying his name, first of all, and then the other thing is
he's still not signed. He's still an RFA, but they'll get him done.
Could be impressive. He had some great stretches on an okay Sabres team that ultimately didn't make the playoffs. I think they could
They're
push.
just so young.
They're young. Bringing in veterans who know how to show some guidance for what a winning team is and how a winning team should act and handle situations. That goes a long way, and maybe they don't have a ton of that right now in Buffalo. They could add that.
Do you think McLeod becomes a top six forward?
No, I think
Bill just said, he's behind Tage Thompson and Dylan Cousins.
And those guys should be in Buffalo for the next 5 to 10 years.
Do you think Buffalo's trading for him because they have two really good centers and he's a better on the wing and they could play him on the wing with one of those two guys?
I wanted to throw. I could have thrown that at Bill, but I think Lindy Ruff might be able to identify that. Like if Ryan McLeod is giving them good minutes on the third line in a game, let's use this as a scenario, just in game, good on the PK, but you see him moving, transporting the puck, looking dangerous, getting some decent looks offensively. I could see in games situationally him getting bumped up. If you got a winger in the top six that isn't going, why wouldn't you put McLeod up there? And I think now for Ryan McLeod, if he's looking at this, if I was in his situation, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm the third line center, but the two guys ahead of me are really damn good. And there's an opportunity for me to get extra minutes in games because I feel like I can play wing well and we need a goal or something like that, put me on the second line. Put me on the first line because I'm riding hot. This is, I think, a good scenario for the player in Ryan McLeod.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Now, I did say that I had our Mix and Match Mondays over on the Nielsen Show today. Every Monday at 7:05, I'm going to be giving you a different set of line combinations.
Yeah.
And we'll create controversy and discussion across the city.
I'm not ready for the rankings of importance, by the way.
No, don't worry. That's late August.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got time. So here's the line combinations that I laid out this morning on the Nielsen Show.
Okay.
And I said this is kind of like super best case scenario, real sexy lineup for fans. Like, think they're going to like this. Portions of the Oil Stream brought to you by Popeyes. Tommy having trouble drinking his 2 hoots here. You okay, bud?
Yeah.
What happened over there? Oh.
What is that?
Oh. What is going on?
I'll
Go get this guy a cloth or something.
I'll be right back.
What is hanging off your chin right now?
It's in the cup.
Did the boys do that to you? Was that a Belsy prank?
Oh my god.
Is it in my cup?
Gross. I hope not.
You know, I didn't want to say this, and Trev was pouring up the 2 hoots. Oh, okay, no, I thought that was the other cup. I don't know what's going on with the cup. That's Curtis Stock's cup.
This is Stalker's cup?
Yeah.
Why
He
were
brought
you
it
using
in here.
Stalker's cup?
It was in the sink, and he forgot it.
What
There was
about
no
the
other
red
cup.
Solo cups over there? We're out of red Solo cups? Okay. Did you? I think maybe what happened there, Tommy got some of that, like the 2 hoots like sugar mix. Anyway, it was absolutely hilarious to me. That's a good one.
Oh, it's the syrup.
You got the syrup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. I thought you were just trying to avoid my extra super stellar lineup combinations here. I'm saving them for you. And if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart right now, you got to go back and watch on the YouTube there. That was hilarious. You had like a huge thing of it hanging off your chin.
Yeah, I cleaned that up.
Oh, that was funny. All right, hey, if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up and give us a sub. Very close to 9,400 subs. So give us a sub over there, especially if you're watching archived or wherever. Give us a sub as well. Portions of the Oil Stream brought to you by Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen, and they've got the boneless wings now available in all the same delicious flavors as the regular wings. Man, it is hot in here today.
It is.
I'm getting really sweaty. Today. We might have to get some fans in here.
That was syrup. Like, it was straight up syrup. I'm like, what the hell?
My goodness.
Yuck.
All right, Tommy, here's the line combinations.
Okay.
Like I said, we'll switch it up. It was good. Jack just texted me from Pro-Am. He goes, just so you know, I heard Barry and one of our listeners out in the main area at Pro-Am talking about your line combinations from today. I was like, boom,
boy.
that's
Let's
what I'm
go.
talking about.
All right, bring it on.
All right, here we go. Jeff Skinner with McDavid and Hyman.
All right, that's a good hockey. That's a good NHL line.
Dylan Holloway with Draisaitl and Arvidsson.
That's also a good line.
All right, how about this one? Nuge centering a line with Evander Kane on the left side, if he's healthy and they have him around still. And on the right side, recently acquired Matt Savoie.
Oh.
And then your third line, the old third line becomes your fourth line. Henrique, Brown, and Yamark, Ryan, and Perry are your extra forwards. Initial thoughts. Just so you know, YouTube Trev gave me a 9 out of 10 on this.
Oh, I'm not going to put it into a number like that.
Okay, all right.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Right? Imagine if
It's
Savoie comes
capable
into
of
camp and
doing
looks
everything.
awesome. And you
That'd
can
be
roll
awesome.
out this lineup, man. Like,
That's a good lineup. I'd look at that and be like, that lineup has a chance to win every night.
yeah. Now,
Every game, every night.
Yeah, 100%. This is like
Yeah.
to go McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, Henrique down the middle is the deepest lineup center group in the entire league. You can't even come close to it, I don't think. Especially because you got the top end guy in McDavid, you got the number 3 center in the league in Draisaitl. Then you got Nuge, who had 100 points 2 years ago, centering your third line, and Henrique on your fourth line.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, that would be absolutely insane depth. Now, the one that really would pop out here would be having Savoie on your third line already.
He'd have to have a really good.
Have to have a good camp.
Camp,
But who does he have to outplay? Ryan and Perry?
Yes, but and listen, he's probably capable of that right now.
Yeah.
Those two have clout, and they've been around for a long time, and their veteran savvy kicks in.
I'm not expecting this to be the line, but I would expect he starts in Bakersfield and works his way through. But we have to remember, he's 20. Like,
Henrique as your fourth liner as a 50-point guy last year. That's
just a sick deep team.
Yeah.
But like, it's not crazy to think that a guy drafted in the top 10 multiple years ago
2 years ago
could make your third line right now. Like, it's not, to me, that wouldn't be a stunning upset.
No.
I'm also not projecting it, but for this line combination set, I was like, man, wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
I think I saw Frank Saravalli say there's people around the league who already think he's better than Ryan McLeod was. So that's saying something.
Different type of player, though, right?
Yeah.
I like this. I have no problem with that. Do I think it's going to happen? No.
No.
Could it?
Not at the beginning of the year.
Not at the beginning.
What if he goes down to Bako and is 35 points in 40 games?
If Kane is here and healthy, it's an if.
Yeah.
And Paisan will talk about that shortly. I'm curious to see how he comes back. If his body's good, his mind's in the right place, quiet the noise. I'm curious what he can do. And then Holloway, I'm encouraged by what I saw from Dylan Holloway. I really am. I think most people are too. That's a guy I think at times this year he might slide up and down the lineup, but he's an NHLer now. And that's we know they have flexibility. We know they have a ton of options. The only thing, if I'm going to be devil's advocate and critique this lineup,
that's why we do them.
It's small.
Okay, so
that's it.
The only difference there is Perry could go in.
Sure.
But that's who they got.
Yep.
So you're saying
It's
in
small.
general you think the Oilers are a small team this year?
Yes. Skinner and Arvidsson are smaller than Fogle, McLeod. Savoie's
Arvidsson's got
not
that
big.
jam to his game,
He
though.
does play bigger than he is, and I'll give him credit for that. I had someone mention to me that they lost speed when they got rid of McLeod and lost Fogle, but I countered with Skinner and Arvidsson skate well. So I'm not that worried about speed.
It also
Holloway
leads
big.
to more Holloway.
Holloway's
right, than
he's
last
a big
year.
guy. But like you don't have any outside of Kane, like that's the sandpaper. Arvidsson can be that, right? Hyman's just a dog. That boy's a dog. Draisaitl's big. Janmark can play strong and bigger than he is. Brown is tenacious. So they have tenacity.
Yeah,
they just don't have
a ton of
sheer size.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you could throw
Which is one of the
Perry.
reasons why you like to see Kane stick around.
Yes.
Because of the size.
Evander Kane, the hockey player, is a difference maker. He's fantastic.
All right, well, let's get to a couple of these then.
Okay.
This one says, do you really think that A, Henrique is signed to Edmonton to be a fourth line? This is from Marcian. Adam Henrique signed in Edmonton to be a 4C, and B, Corey Perry got 1.15 to be a 13th forward. I'll be honest with you, I don't care what Corey Perry got his 1.15 to be.
Yeah.
He'll be slotted wherever they need him to be slotted.
Yeah.
The Henrique thing, I got some time for in that discussion. Once again, I don't think this will be the opening night lineup, but this is one of the options that he could possibly have with the lineup this year. We'll have a different one next Monday.
As we should and will. RCN makes a good point, and those are valid points. And I think I'd point out too is these lines shift and change.
Oh yeah,
shift to shift.
Like people
Game
are going to
to game.
lose their mind when I roll out a set of lines when Henrique, Brown, and Janmark aren't together. Like they were for pretty much all of last season.
I can't remember who texted it in on Hello Hockey, or maybe it was Oil Stream on Friday when you were away, saying, do you think that Henrique, Brown, and Janmark are going to be aligned for all 82 games, and it's just going to continue from the playoffs because they caught lightning in a bottle for 6 to 8 games? No, but there is some chemistry there. They can play a certain way, and no, they're not going to play together the entire season. There's going to be movement.
Yeah.
Henrique could end up on the wing.
Yeah, he played on the wing here a bit. Like this is a very versatile group of forwards
Yes.
that not like they're like that's why I wanted to do this. I could almost do it every Monday and Wednesday. Like there's enough different combinations you can put these guys in that you could have a real good discussion all the time.
Yeah.
Let's get to a couple of this one from Blaine over on the Nasty Chat says, guys, I see Lavoie getting that look over Matt Savoie to start the year.
No.
There's your size.
Nope. Not
No?
going to happen.
No, I'm not going to.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to. I think Lavoie's opportunity was last season, didn't work, and he came. Unfortunately, he came in at the worst time.
But
when
he's
the team was
back.
so bad. I'm surprised a little bit. That's organizational depth, but I don't think he would be slotted in over Savoie. I think Savoie all of a sudden is their top prospect.
If you're watching on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would like to hit that 9,400 subs.
Let's go.
Zacticum, can you see how many subs we're away from 9,400 on the back end of the
Yeah, I'll
YouTube
check that out right now.
Check that out. We'll definitely go there.
Brent texting in via the nasty chat says, are they strong enough, tough enough for the playoffs? I think this lineup, for the most part, answered wholeheartedly yes.
Yeah, because if we're talking about, are they not tough enough anymore? Yeah, McLeod's gone. He doesn't factor into that conversation.
Fogle, same thing.
And then there's Fogle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they'd be okay. I think that would be all right. Jeff Jackson does continue to make things extremely difficult for the next guy.
But the next guy is a caretaker. I think I'm assuming he's a caretaker more than
overseer. Wouldn't that suck though, as you get your job as a GM in the NHL, and we're all like, he's a caretaker. Like that.
That's what we're seeing around the league.
I know, but
how do you look at Patrick Alvin in Vancouver? Because Jim Rutherford's the one calling the shots at the end, is he not?
Yeah.
What about Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes in Montreal?
Yeah, they're all like shadow guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tandems.
I'm not necessarily sure what the purpose is.
Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, although Kelly McCrimmon's a presence for sure. But they work as a tandem, like you said.
Zacticum, what do we got? You figured it out yet?
9,395.
Oh, we're 5 away.
More. Let's go.
We are 5 subs away from 9,400. Wouldn't that be great to hit the day before our first golf classic? I think that would be great. 5 subs
Belzy says
away.
yes.
Let's do it. If you're watching on YouTube right now and you've not yet subbed to the channel, I think I was looking last night, I think 90 or 42% of you who are watching on YouTube have not subbed yet. You're out there.
That's insane.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, sub to the channel. We would appreciate it. Let's hit that 9,400. It is the Oil Stream. It is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Somebody was asking about updates on Holloway and Broberg contracts. Have you heard anything on that front?
No, haven't heard
Probably
anything.
pretty quiet now for a while, hey, I would think.
Yeah. Maybe Pagnotta knows when we get him on here, but this under Jeff Jackson, they've tightened up a lot of the leaks. Kudos to them, I guess. Sucks for us.
Easy E over in the Nasty Chat, by the way. Love your music. Oilers got Skinner and Arvidsson, but they're 30 plus and somewhat small. So is Savoie. Got rid of McLeod, makes them slower. Older, smaller, slower. Are they really that much better?
You could argue that Arvidsson and Skinner are good skaters that are actually quicker than you think.
Yeah.
Talking to Joe DiBiase about Skinner, he says that do not expect him to be any good in his own zone and don't expect him to create offense on his own. He relies on his centerman and the other winger to distribute. And
well, if only he was going to a team that had centers who can distribute the puck.
Is this a problem? Not here.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. A surveyor Brett says I have 25 accounts, but I only sub on 17 of them.
You're a jerk, surveyor.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me.
I love you.
Yeah, if you're watching over there. All right, should we get Pagnotta in here?
Yeah, Dave, you want to come on?
Got to get him a chair and a mic.
Dave, he's coming.
We're going to slide him in here to wrap the oil stream today. If you have any questions, you can fire those over as well. And we'll get into a few of those. Zactic was get that mic set up. Grab another chair here. And the Oilers apparently maybe still looking for some sort of defensive upgrade, which is nice to see. That was discussed on Hello Hockey over the weekend as well. Listen to Hello Hockey here every single Saturday on Edmonton Sports Talk. And we're good to go, Zacticum. We're good. Dave, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You got it up, Zach? We're good? Yeah. All right, perfect. Tommy, slide back in here. Dave, let me start with this. What do you think of Tommy's shirt today? What's going on there?
Yeah, I was wondering. It's an interesting decision.
Tommy, what is the decision on this? Like you said today, you were getting ready, you're running around. What in the world? And this is coming from me. Like I wear black T-shirts. So that's what I do.
So take
but
it with a grain of salt.
What is this? Like,
I don't know. I bought this shirt like
you
7,
bought
8 years
this
ago.
shirt?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I bought it. It's Where's Waldo-esque. I know.
Yeah.
It's thicker too. It's not.
Well, that was a horrible decision
That's
today.
not good for today.
I was like, I haven't worn it in a long time. Let me put it on. So I did. That's what happened.
I don't think I've ever seen you in that shirt.
It doesn't come out very often.
It should probably stay
Ouch.
back
Do you,
where it was.
do you
Ouch.
think this is the last time you ever wear that shirt?
Definitely not.
No.
Oh, more? Okay.
Yeah,
You're just going to
no,
keep it
wait.
going? Now at a spike.
I think this is the last time you ever wears that
Spite,
shirt.
yeah. Spite wears.
I think. Spite wears now. You're going to be rolling in this thing every single Monday now.
Yeah.
It's Tommy's Monday
Yeah,
shirt.
maybe.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Ouch, boys. First
Well,
it was the syrup, and now
Yeah.
you guys
well,
are
we didn't do
covering my
anything with the syrup. I mean, that just
Yeah,
happened.
I know, but this has been an interesting show.
I was wondering what happened there.
Yeah.
Saw
Yeah,
him
that was
run
kind of
off.
gross.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nasty.
That was kind of gross.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
And how about the hair too today, Tommy?
I know. Chantal went
It's very
shorter,
high
so
up,
I'm just gonna.
I like
mess
it.
up.
I think this should be your new look all the time.
Don't worry, Tino Vaselino will be back next
Yeah,
week.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Dave, what's up, man? How you doing? That was a busy playoff run, eh?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Just when I thought I was out, you guys pulled me back in. So
That's what we do here.
good to be. The weather's nice.
Yeah, oh,
Weather's
man.
great.
It's
Nice
ridiculous here right now.
Nice and warm. Yeah, that was a stretch.
Yeah,
That was an aggressive run, especially when you spend 6 days in Vegas right after.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
for awards and draft.
and
God.
you guys didn't even tap the brakes when you went to Vegas.
No. We
You hit the throttle,
yeah
man.
we had to turn
Oh,
up
I
and
saw.
the notch
cranked
a
it up,
little
cranked it up a notch.
And they brought Irf Gaffari in,
Yeah.
so
Irf jumped back in the mix
Yeah.
to do our draft coverage, which as you know, like he's not going to slow us down. Like he's gonna,
No.
he's gonna
is Irf a bit of an animal?
he'll accelerate.
he's
Yeah.
the DRS.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, that's an extra 17 kilometers an hour right
yes,
there.
exactly.
My goodness, that's pretty impressive.
I love that.
Okay,
analogy.
let's get. We got to get into this. I know you guys would talk about it on Hello Hockey, but we just had Bill Hoppy on talking about the Buffalo Sabres, and we're like, did Savoie kind of fall out of favor there? And he said, they figured one of the prospects would be traded,
Yep.
but for a legitimate top 6 forward, so he was a little bit surprised. So, what do you think was the main driving force here behind Buffalo doing what they did to bring in Ryan McLeod? Do they just love Ryan McLeod, or is it a desperate play because
They
they're trying
better.
to show that they're taking advantage of the young guys that they got right now and they want to move ahead? Like,
Yeah, I mean, look, they better really like this guy because you paid a hell of a price for him,
Yeah.
and I understand you want to expand on your depth. You want to have a stronger roster overall. You want to build up the middle. That's what every team wants to do. So if you can stabilize yourself up the middle, and it's hard finding legitimate third-line centers in the National Hockey League. It sounds weird, but
it's fair.
Finding the right fit,
Yeah.
it's very difficult
Yes.
to do. And if you have that, you want to latch onto that as strongly as you can. Clearly, it's going to cost you a premium. Like, I'll give you an example. Philadelphia, the last 2 years, has made Scott Lawton available.
Yeah, his name always pops up.
Always. But the price tag is a first-round pick, mid-first-round pick, or low first-round pick plus.
And you talked about Lawton here.
Here, there
potentially.
was discussions about him here as well.
Yep.
But this goes back to the draft last year. Like, Toronto and Philadelphia had a discussion. They were close on a deal that involved Toronto's first-round pick last draft, and it obviously didn't happen. So the price tag for third-line centers, it's hefty. So I get it from that perspective. But to give up a prospect like Matty Savoie, I don't know.
Yeah, especially when you
I don't
know
know
the
about
Oilers are in a
that
bit
one.
of a cap crunch. And
Right.
we'll have to move somebody at some point for something.
And from Buffalo's perspective, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
Because it's a different conference.
Yeah.
That's the West, the Western's problem. But from Buffalo's perspective, let's stabilize our third line, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He's controllable because he's an RFA in
Yeah.
the summer. And hopefully he fits in and meshes with a lot of the young guys there because it's still a very young roster in Buffalo.
Yes.
But now you got to start taking those next steps. If they didn't view Savoie as a guy that was going to make an impact for them next season, and time is starting to run out a little bit on Kevin Adams and the regime
Yeah.
there because they were supposed to have taken that step this past season. I get it from that side of things, but just from a talent observation perspective, unless they know something that they're telling nobody about Matty Savoie, this is a hell of a trade for the Oilers.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody pointed out, they're all in, but also reloading at the same time, which is really tough to do in any league.
Anything.
Good.
I mean, the fact that they were able to pull this off and to get a kid that's, 3-4 years younger?
Yeah, he's 20, and McLeod's 24. Going to
Yeah.
be 25 in September. So
So, I mean, you're doing yourself a favor in that regard. And, again, you're making the entire hockey world go, what the hell just happened?
yeah,
Which is not great if you're the Buffalo Sabres. But from Edmonton's perspective, Everyone's now looking at them, especially after July 1, going, stop doing them favors, please.
I know.
Speaking of that, we had people asking about what was the situation that Hampton Steve was bringing up?
The blue line.
Defense.
The
You
blue
talked
line,
about it
yeah.
on Hello Hockey.
Yes.
You said Edmonton's trying to make a move. We put out the clip yesterday.
Yep.
Is there any progress? I know it's only been 2 days since we did the show, but like, what is Edmonton trying to do? Because the other thing, I was texting you that night, and
Yes.
I'm like, hey, something's cooking. I'm getting people telling me stuff's going on. It's being confirmed to me.
Yeah, well, they've been working. And there's two different scenarios that I believe are being played out right now. One is move a body to free up the cap space and utilize that cap space to bring in somebody else.
Right.
So that's going to be a little costly across the board. As I mentioned on Hello Hockey on Saturday, it's a 4-5 defenseman. That's
Yes.
kind of what they want to bring in.
Yeah.
If they can stabilize somebody that's interchangeable between the second and third pair, that's a perfect world scenario. But you don't have cap space, so you got to create it in some fashion.
Yep.
I mentioned Kulak and Cece. I think Cece's name is a little more prominent right now. I know there's a little bit of worry from that side that he may end up somewhere else.
Okay.
But I just don't know, because they've had a variety of discussions. I don't know right now if it's CC plus for that defenseman they're looking for, or if it's CC plus take the contract and we're going to move X, Y, and Z to get
To get somebody else.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure
Couple
exactly.
of options though. I mean,
Yeah,
if they really wanted to.
And as we've noticed from Jeff Jackson and crew,
Yeah.
they are and have explored all their options and are going to continue to do that. And there's a lot of faith in this current regime right now in what they're able to pull off. And this time of year, first weekend after July 1, everybody takes a couple days off. So I wasn't surprised that nothing happened over the weekend. I wouldn't be shocked if nothing really transpires today.
Yeah.
But as the week kind of progresses, I know they'd like to get something done sooner than later.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of where that goes if they're able to pull it off. Sometimes you want to do it, but you're not going to be able to pull it off until camp begins.
It's so crazy that, like, if he was to upgrade CC on the right side, that pretty much checks every box that fans would have like asked for this offseason. Like very rarely does an organization check off every single box.
Never
and then
here.
some, like with the Savoie trade out of nowhere, but like kept the guys that they want to keep, brought in 2 top 6 wingers, traded Ryan McLeod, who everybody hated in the playoffs. And now if they were to up, like that would, I mean, that's hitting for the cycle in the first summer. Let's just say first summer, they'd be hitting for the cycle, which is almost unheard of. Like, it's crazy.
And again, like, I mean, but they're viewing it the same as all of us and all the fans are viewing it. Like, these are the boxes that need to be checked off. So what the hell are we waiting for? Let's check off.
It's been pretty clear those boxes need to be checked for a little while, right? So
Exactly. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens with the Vander Kane.
That's something I was going to follow up with. Like, is he healthy? Will he be healthy? Is he going to be around? You said it on Hello Hockey. He's got all the cards, no movement.
He's got the no move.
Would teams actually be interested in bringing him in?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tricky situation. Like, you're not going to put Evander Kane. First of all, you're not going to trade Evander Kane to a bottom feeder.
Yeah.
Because he's going to say no, thank you.
yeah, there's no chance that happens.
Yeah.
And even if it were a tax-free state team,
Yeah,
none of them are bottom feeders anyway.
yeah,
So from a financial perspective, there's no benefit for him to go anywhere if it's not a top echelon team, a top contender. So again, he holds all the cards. His injury, I mean, we all know what it is. What's the extent of it? That's what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, quite frankly, we don't need to know. That's up to him. That's up to the Oilers.
Yep.
But I'm not anticipating anything happening there. I mean, unless this team pulls this off, you're hitting a cycle and a grand slam.
yeah. Oh man,
in
can
the
you
same
imagine
game.
that too? Like
Like, you're hitting a solo shot, you're hitting for the cycle,
Yeah.
and then on top of it, bottom of the ninth, or not even
the
top of-
Carlos Delgado 4 home run game.
Oh, yes.
You know, like you're
Yes.
just like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
I don't know if we'll get to that.
Yeah, that would be something. though.
But
yeah, can you imagine
I
them
like that-
moving CC out and Kane goes in the same deal somehow? In some
Oh,
sort of-
man.
that would be the city would. I mean, they don't even need to win the cup next year. People just say that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
There would
That's all
be-
the celebration you need.
listen, I remember what happened after Game 6. That would be the same type of celebration,
yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
After that as well. 3 a.m., people are still honking horns.
That was only a couple of weeks ago, Dave.
Yes. That's why it's still fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
no
so
doubt.
fresh.
Tough to forget that.
But No, I would be surprised if there's any movement on the Evander Kane front anytime soon.
Okay. What about the GM, just quickly, before we wrap here?
Isn't he the president?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. Like I said to him today, I said, why? Like, could you not just promote one of the guys who's been helping you with all this anyway? And
Paul Coffey?
Well, Tommy says Coffey's never going to do it.
Second in command.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, technically, that would kind of be how it's structured.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that.
The
But
owner, Paul Coffey, then Jeff Jackson.
Yeah.
That's something that not a lot of people recognize.
Yes, which is
So do you think
also
they do
correct.
It's
Do
interesting.
they do anything like?
Well, they don't need to right now.
No, they don't,
I
right?
know we
Like-
saw some movement today with Washington. Brian McLellan moving up to president of hockey ops, and Chris Patrick, becoming GM.
Yeah.
You don't need to now.
Yeah, I don't see the need.
And quite frankly, what's the GM going to do at this point?
Oh, day-to-day stuff, right?
Right, but that begins in September.
Exactly.
And you've already
You have
got
your
other
cap
guys who are
guys.
kind of handling the day-to-day stuff.
Exactly,
Right now,
exactly. So there's no real sense of urgency. I mean, they could just for I don't know window dressing.
we have a GM now, so they don't have to put the tag on Jeff as GM as well or whatever. Right? They could do
I
something like that.
suppose.
So.
I mean, unless
or just give it to Coffey, get him off the bench. He's probably not going to be there next year.
yeah,
anyway.
well, that'd be something.
he's not coming back.
All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Good day to the BP's Lounge, no doubt about that. Hey, look who's here. My nieces and my son
man,
and
it's
my
a busy
daughter.
building
And
today, man.
busy,
Yeah.
busy daughter right there.
All right.
Lizzie's just walking right in like she doesn't even care.
Come on, Muzz. Get in here. Let's go.
Come on
Let's
in,
go,
Muzz.
Marshall.
There you go.
Get in.
There you go.
There it is.
There, the
Come
Muzz
here,
and
Lizzie.
Marshall are
Come
in.
here, Lizzie.
Come on, guys. There we go.
Say hello.
room here.
Say hello.
All right, everybody's in.
over
What's
here.
up, Tam?
You got
Hey,
the
come on
whole
in.
group
There you
in
go.
here.
There you go.
Pagnotta, you've just been
Love it. Yeah,
You're
I'm getting
babysitting.
pushed. I'm getting
This
pushed.
is
Yeah.
my nieces, and I'm sweaty. It's hot in here today.
Yeah.
So Emma, Lily, slide in here a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah, this is the whole crew. They're in town. Their mom and dad are gonna be playing in the golf tournament. So slide in a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That's the family right there. So what a nice way to wrap up Oil Stream today. eh?
Fantastic Monday.
This is great stuff. All right, that's going to do it. Brought to you, of course, by Boston Pizza. Dave's out for the golf tournament. We will be live tomorrow from 6 to 8. And then after that, it's golf tournament day for everybody here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Should be a pretty good time. Smash the Pelican will be in the house tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. We'll just leave it at that. And that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. For Dave Pagnotta and Zach Tecum and Tommy Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Nielsen Show replay coming up on TuneIn and iHeart right away. And we will talk to you tomorrow morning from the ranch for the first ever annual Memorial EST Golf Classic. That's happening tomorrow.